A trip to a metro hospital leaves a mother worried about her son and angry at the hospital staff. An Oklahoma student suing her principal, saying he paddled her too hard. Milk prices are heading up. Butter, cheese, and ice cream could be next. And this 14-year-old is the Red Bud winner.
I had two people in front of me, and I passed them, and I never saw them again.
News 9 starts now.
More local, more meaningful. This is News 9.
He lays peacefully in a hospital bed, but the ordeal to get him here is a completely different story. The infant's mother says it took too long for a doctor to look at her son's head injury and too long for Norman Regional to transfer him to a specialist.
Amy Lester talked with the family, which is now at OU Medical Center. Amy?
At this hour, the boy rests in a room here at OU Medical Center, but his mother feels frustrated because she says Norman Regional Hospital failed her and her son and took too long to transfer him here. On a day much like this, a perfect day for a little boy named Ash to run free, but a child's excitement turned to fear.
He slid off the bench underneath and he fell. I mean, he was screaming.
A bolt from the picnic bench punctured Ash's head.
When I pulled him up, there was blood running down from his head.
Jennifer rushed her son to Norman Regional Hospital. She says it took 2 hours for a physician's assistant to look at her son and perform a CAT scan. Then, close to a third hour for a doctor to come in.
They said that it had a fracture of his skull, and to them it looked like the bone was indented down and touching his brain. And they did not have the means or the resources to attend to him.
An ambulance took Ash to Children's Hospital. Jennifer says once they arrived, about 4 hours had gone by.
If they would have did their job in the first place, they could have had me here hours before they did.
A spokesperson for Norman Regional Hospital insists nothing went wrong. She says procedures were followed appropriately, that the boy arrived in good condition and was transferred in good condition. Jennifer disagrees.
I guess I'm going to talk to an attorney. I'm going to do what I can to make sure that this, not just my son, what happens if this happened to somebody else? This is not fair.
Now, I checked to see if this has happened to somebody else. I called the State Department of Health. They regulate the emergency rooms, and they tell me they've had no recent complaints against the Norman Regional Emergency Room. Back to you.
All right, Amy, thank you. Norman Regional Hospital officials tell us that its ER is the third busiest in the state. They say patients go through triage before seeing a doctor. Survivors of severe accidents pleaded with lawmakers today to save the state's trauma care system. The state's only level 1 trauma center, OU Medical Center, threatened to close after losing about $9 million. Survivors say that would be devastating.
Think about everyone you love, your father, your mother, your son, your daughter, whoever, anybody you love, hope that they get what I got, yeah? Because if I ain't got this, I wouldn't be here. It's as simple as that.
Governor Henry has proposed $20.5 million for trauma care, but so far only about $2 million has been appropriated. Supporters of cockfighting aren't giving up. Last week, the state Supreme Court ruled the state's ban on cockfighting is constitutional. The Oklahoma Game Fowl Breeders Association plans to ask the court for a rehearing, and if that fails, they say they plan to take the case to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Corporal punishment is one thing, but a Grady County mother says what a principal did to her daughter amounts to assault and battery. The result is a lawsuit against the Ninnekah High School principal and a teacher. Gan Matthews joins us from there with more on this story.
Well, for the record, the Ninnekah superintendent and school attorney have no comment on the lawsuit filed last week. The mother who brought the suit and whose daughter was a student here at the high school says her daughter has suffered mental, emotional, and physical injuries. The lawsuit mainly concerns an incident that allegedly occurred on March 26th. On that day, high school principal David Pitts allegedly beat the girl with a paddle while another teacher looked on and did nothing to stop it. Upon the minor child by David Pitts was excessive and extreme and was a willful and unlawful use of force and violence. The suit also alleges on another occasion last year, Pitts put the child in handcuffs.
There's nothing wrong with restraining someone in handcuffs if you have justification or if there's good cause. As we've alleged in the petition, we don't believe there was good cause and that restraint was wrongful.
David Pitts remains principal at the high school. but a Grady County judge has barred him and the other teacher from administering any more corporal punishment upon the girl. David Pitts did not return our phone call seeking comment on this incident. The whole matter is under investigation by the Ninnekah Police Department. The police chief says he's waiting to interview David Pitts before he wraps up his investigation. Back to you.
All right, Dan, thank you. Tonight, the 14-year-old girl has transferred to another school district.
8 men will decide if there is enough evidence to impeach a state official. Insurance Commissioner Carol Fisher is under investigation for embezzlement. A legislative panel convened this morning to talk about impeachment procedures that were last used in Oklahoma in the early 90s. Today, Commissioner Fisher said he will not resign.
The truth is all I'm asking, but I've never had that opportunity to go through each one of these items. Hopefully with this committee, I'll have that chance.
Now, if the legislative panel finds there is enough evidence, it could ask the House to vote for impeachment. Then there would be a trial in the Senate with senators acting as jurors to make a final decision. The attorney for this fired police chemist says she won't settle a lawsuit filed against her. Jeffrey Pierce is suing Oklahoma City police chemist Joyce Gilchrist, or the former police chemist, Bob Macy in Oklahoma City, as well, for being sent to prison for a rape he didn't commit. Pierce's attorney filed paperwork saying a settlement is possible. Gilchrist's lawyer says that's not true and says his client expects to be exonerated. Well, prosecutors are using tire tracks to try to link Terry Nichols to the Murrah building bombing. Today, at Nichols' state trial, a former FBI agent testified tracks found outside a Kansas storage shed matched the tires on Nichols' pickup truck. Prosecutors say materials stored in the shed were used to make the bomb that blew up the Murrah building. Right now, there are no suspects in the murder of a Guthrie rental store manager. Charles Minot was found dead inside his store early yesterday morning. Investigators have not released a cause of death yet.
Helicopters fired on targets in Baghdad today while troops sailed off the town of Fallujah. Marines are searching for the rebels who killed and mutilated 4 American civilians last week. And a judge has issued an arrest warrant for an anti-American cleric accused of inciting violence against U.S. troops. Some Oklahoma students are about to get a hands-on experience in rebuilding. 4 college students with Tulsa's Fluid mission will head to Afghanistan next month and spend their entire summer there. The faith-based group of college and graduate students travel to foreign countries, trying to make a difference and bring hope.
I don't think any picture, any infomercial, anything is going to prepare you, any book is going to prepare you for the life-impacting change that you're going to experience, that you're going to see, that you're going to feel when you step on the ground in some of these nations.
In the year that Fluid mission has been in existence, students have traveled to Kenya, Indonesia, Iraq, and Iran. Well, the sun was out a little today, but Gary says some rain could be on the way.
Prices at the pump aren't the only prices going up. Soon we could be getting creamed by milk prices.
And an unexpected winner takes home top honors at the Redbud. Meet the fastest runner ahead on News 9 at 6.
More local, more meaningful. This is News 9 at 6.
Well, get ready for some sticker shock. Milk prices are moving up.
And Rick Wells found out they could be way up by the middle of next month.
It's hard to make it on 40 cows.
Darrell Brooks was in the dairy business for 5 years, but just couldn't make a go of it. Not enough cows to produce the kind of volume he needed to stay in business, so he bailed out.
I sold out in July 2003, and because of the milk prices and feed prices, there was not enough money there for working 7 days a week, you know, to milk them all the way up.
He's making a living now trimming hooves. That's some of his handiwork there. More comfortable cows give more milk, perhaps. Good news for farmers if the price goes up. And there are indications from industry experts that's exactly what's going to happen. Here's why. There are fewer dairy cows. Farmers like Darrell Brooks have gotten out of the business. Many have sold their herds for slaughter, worth more for the meat than the milk. The quickest source for replacement cows used to be Canada. Mad cow disease closed that market. Fewer cows produce less milk. Demand is up for milk and milk products like butter and cheese. The result is simple economics. One local milk producer told us the cost of producing a gallon of milk could go up 30 to 40 cents by the middle of May. If that cost is passed on, milk will go well beyond $3 a gallon. Farmers will get some of that, and Darrell Brooks says that's good news. For consumers, it'll mean higher milk prices, perhaps having us complaining about price at this pump for a change.
That's Rick Wells reporting. Now, these predicted changes in price are being watched closely because traditionally milk prices are lowest in the spring and summer before they begin to climb in the fall. You know, there's a good chance that we could get a little wet this week. Gary's forecast is coming up.
And it's a good thing this year's Redbud winner can run because he's not old enough to drive. Meet him next.
This truck will help a metro organization bring golf to kids who don't usually get to play golf. Cox Communications donated the pickup to First Tee. The truck will tow this trailer full of golf equipment to different sites across the metro. All right, a bunch of guys teeing off today to raise money for 5-year-old Nick Leslie, who has a rare cancer called neuroblastoma. The golf tournament and auction were expected to raise $20,000 to help offset Nick's $100,000 in medical bills, those bills still growing. And after 13 surgeries, Nick just keeps on swinging.
Shy, but he loves life. He's very optimistic. He's very wise for his age. I think any child that goes through a serious illness like cancer is very wise beyond their years.
If you'd like to help the Leslies with their medical expenses, you'll find a fund set up at any Bank of America.
Organizers are calling this year's Redbud Classic a huge success. They tell us more than 5,000 people biked, ran, or walked in the event this year. The weather was probably a big factor in the turnout. Officials will announce how much money they raised for Big Brothers Big Sisters in June. A Mustang High School freshman stunned the field at the Redbud, winning the 10K in impressive fashion. Kevin Schwab finished the race more than a minute ahead of the next runner. Kevin's dad was waiting for him when he got to the finish line.
He couldn't say nothing. He was really surprised. I knew I could run that fast, but I didn't think I could beat those people.
No formal records are kept, but Kevin is believed to be the youngest winner ever of the Redbud 10K.
If I'm mistaken, he ran it in 33 minutes or so. I mean,
jeez.
Pretty amazing, you know, for a 14-year-old.
That's what I did for the 5K. I mean, my gosh, he's fast. And he also excels in the classroom at 3.5 GPA. And so, neat kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with, you know.
I know. Gosh.
He's past me. I
Yeah.
know you guys.
Neat kid.
Have a few sprinkles out there. Let's take a look at radar, and it's down around in the vicinity thereabouts, approximately just a little northeast of Lawton. Nothing significant, just a few sprinkles. Other rain and thunderstorm activity back in West Texas, gradually moving up towards southwestern Oklahoma. For you folks out there, as it moves northward at the present time, it is weakening somewhat, but there is an upper storm system out to our west that'll move across the state later tonight and tomorrow, and that'll spread about an 80% chance of rain's likely. It looks like it will be light rain, though, and a few thunderstorms around for later tonight and tomorrow. Then it just shoves off, and it looks like Wednesday will end up pretty good. Let's take a look at a few numbers. These are high and high. We call them too high and too high. Weed and mold spores, they're okay at the moment. 51 this morning was a little bit cool, a little bit of wind, and 73 and sunshine and light winds this afternoon. It just turned out terrific, as most of you know. We have been down to 26 on this date. As I keep saying, we have had freezes in central Oklahoma as late as the first week in May. 94 the record high. That's not showing up in the near-term future. Right now at Will Rogers World Airport, 70, south at 12, humidity 38%, pressure doesn't mean very much at the moment, 29.98, and it's kind of flat. Other temperatures, 70, 71, have a 69 at Mustang, a 72 at Del City. As I mentioned, the winds are not much, 5 to 10, 5 to 15 miles per hour, a mix of sunshine and clouds. A little bit more cloud cover down to the southwest, so it's only 63 in Hobart, 68 in Altus, but it's a mix of 60s and 70s and rather pleasant conditions. But that big storm system, big low pressure low pressure area that's been out to our southwest for several days is now moving. But as I mentioned, it moves over Oklahoma late tonight and tomorrow. It will weaken, but it will produce some precipitation. Highs tomorrow, 60s, 70s, so increasing cloud cover, and in fact, quite a bit of cloud cover. West, central, and gradually spreading into the east tomorrow. Looks like the warmest temperatures will be in the east. Now, rain-wise, 11 p.m. tonight, we'll have some. Tomorrow morning, that looks like some light rain scattered over the state. Amounts do not appear significant, but there may be a thunderstorm or two, so don't be surprised if you hear the thunder. During the day tomorrow, some occasional light rain scattered around, maybe a thunderstorm or two. And we get into early on Wednesday, it begins to shove on off. There's still some north central and northeast, and Wednesday afternoon, there she goes. Northerly winds, so Wednesday turns out just absolutely wonderful. Here's the way it stacks up, 7 in the morning, and also at noon tomorrow, 80%, and really anywhere in the state, as I mentioned, 80% chance some precipitation. It appears it will be light. And by 4 p.m. here in the metro, it'll be down to 40%. Temperatures somewhere between cool and mild, I guess you'd say. 7-day, there's that 80% on Tuesday and going into some eastern half of the state into Tuesday night, early Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon here in the metro is 65, Thursday 67, and that 50% chance with that strong cold front headed in Friday night and Saturday. Possible frost freeze Sunday morning, Monday morning. Alex Wooford, he's our winner. Westminster Elementary. What is grade K now?
Kindergarten?
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
Grade K,
Yeah.
okay. We had grade 0 the other day.
That's right.
Alex wins a free kids meal from Johnny's Charcoal Broiler, Johnny's Express, and you can go there and pick these up, color these up, throw it in the hopper, and we'll pull one out.
Great looking picture. All right.
Well, they didn't win it all, but the Cowboys still had an outstanding season.
You can give the Pokes a rousing welcome home tomorrow night. OSU fans are invited to a homecoming ceremony at Gallagher-Iba. The event starts at 7, doors open at 5:30. Stay with us. Curtis is in next with sports.
And now, News 9 Sports.
College basketball's national championship is tonight right here on News 9. 8:21 the official tip time. 8 o'clock for the pregame show, Connecticut and Georgia Tech. And don't forget, you can see all the action on HD TV right here on News 9. Hi, everyone. Before the season started, Connecticut was expected to be in the title game tonight. Georgia Tech was not. The Yellow Jackets were picked as low as 8th in their own conference after losing their best player to the NBA draft. But they got off to a great start by winning the preseason NIT, and one of the teams they beat, yes, Connecticut. In fact, they beat them by 16 points all the way back in November. Here it is. And it was this guy, Ishmael Muhammad, who had the big dunks and route to the big upset. Now Connecticut will try to win the men's title. Also, their women's team is playing for the national championship tomorrow night, and no team has ever won both titles.
I don't know if I could put into words what it would mean to a state to own, in there, at least for that particular given moment, college basketball. I don't think words could possibly express it, because there is a great love affair for obviously both programs within our state. So it would be beyond belief, to be honest with you.
They understand that this is, a great opportunity, but, once we get out on the court, I'd say after the first minute or two, they'll forget about everything going on and just really focus on the game itself.
Oklahoma State was hoping to be playing in tonight's game. Still, the Cowboys, as you just heard, will be welcomed back in Stillwater tomorrow with a celebration at Gallagher-Iba Arena. Former Oklahoma head coach Billy Tubbs remembers what it feels like to come home from the Final Four without a title. He sat down with Dean and John last night on the Blitz to talk about it.
On that particular night, Kansas had a great night, and I thought we were a better team than Kansas. But the thing about the NCAA tournament that's exciting, the best team doesn't always win. It's one and you're out. In conference, you can lose a game, you can lose 2 games, still win it. Here, you can't lose any games and still win it. Oklahoma State really had a great season this year, and I think Pat Tubbs is really pulling for the Cowboys, but I found out this year she pulls more for the coach's wife that she likes, and she wanted Patsy to have that national championship, and I kept telling her, Eddie will get over it, and she goes, well, I'm worried about Patsy.
All right, the real opening day in baseball. President Bush throwing out the first pitch in St. Louis. Last check, Milwaukee was leading the Redbirds late. Also, Dick Cheney getting into the act as the Cubs took on the Reds. Corey Patterson spoils the party in Cincinnati with a home run to right. Cubs win it 7-4. Pudge Rodriguez making his debut in a Tiger uniform. It's a good one. Home run to left off Cy Young Award winner Roy Halladay. The Tigers win that game 7-0. Game of the day, Chicago and Kansas City. Bottom of the 9th, Royals' Mendy Lopez goes deep. 3-run shot, ties the game, and then Carlos Beltran will win it right here. Opening day winner for the Kansas City Royals off that home run. Great day. Opening day in the national championship tonight.
Gotta love it. What a great day in sports.
It is.
All right, Curtis, thanks.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll be going on a little bit late tonight because the game starts at tip-off 8:21.
Yep, should be good.
Okay.
Georgia Tech can win.
You think so?
Yeah, they can.
Don't
Are
give
you
too much
picking them?
away.
I'm not picking them, but they have a chance.
We'll see you back here after the game.